No get in, no?
Well, let us in now.
Oh, come on, lad, let us in. We've come up today in support of Greig McArthur, who's getting blacklisted. You know, the blacklist still exists, it's still going on. We're sick of it. You know, they're sacking lads on these sites, and we're not having it.
My name is Greig McArthur. I am the branch secretary of the Glasgow mechanical and electrical branch, and it's the biggest branch in Scotland. We were working for one of SSE and Scottish Power's subcontractors. I was dismissed on the spot, basically because we were trying to gain union recognition with Unite the Union. We were only weeks away from getting it when a manager came out and just sacked us.
Take a photograph of your fucking face.
I couldn't get work a long time due to standing up as a shop steward. It's creating a blacklist which has gone on for far too long. It's years and years and years of it, decades, and we need to see a situation where it's changed and people are more respected and rewarded for what they can do.
One of the main things that would help us a lot would be getting a national agreement for the HV sector, and bringing companies like SSE, Scottish Power as well, and their contractors into line, and paying the proper rates for a job, and giving proper protections for our reps and for our activists. That way we can help to stamp out blacklisting. Everybody needs to pull their socks up, especially the Scottish Government. They continually gave contracts out to those blacklisting companies, and it's something we highlighted personally to Nicola Sturgeon, and nothing was done about that.
This industry, the high voltage sector, is flooded with money. There's billions of pounds of investment, and that's no exaggeration to say billions. A lot of it's public investment from the Scottish Government. We're talking about green jobs. We've had the COP26. We're talking about the Fair Work Convention of the Scottish Government. We're talking about just transition, where you might have oil and gas workers who are coming out of the decommissioning side of the oil and gas, the fossil fuels, who will then move into this sector. Now, we need to make sure that there's good, well-paid and secure jobs. It has to be secure. We have to end all this bogus self-employment and overuse of agency work.
This motion was put in front of Unite Construction Conference in May this year, and it was ruled out of order because it was a couple of hours or a day late. The motion called to organise a high voltage sector, and we've heard here today the problems within that sector.
We need the full backing of Unite Scotland and Unite as a whole, and we want to see these progressing a lot further and a lot quicker. It's went on for far too long, including my own situation where I was trying to get recognition, and it seemed to drag on for months and months and months and months, and left me vulnerable.
It's no fair that workers can get sacked for organising trade unions. It's no fair that workers in the high voltage sector are asked to work hundreds of miles away from home and they're having to pay their own dig money. It's no fair that the biggest majority of people within that sector are agency labour, and it's time for Unite Scotland to get their act together, organise construction, not only in the high voltage sector but right across the field, and work with the rank and file so we can deliver fair wages, proper wages, and make sure that the workers have secure employment.
Today we also targeted a company who has an SGIB, which is the National Electrical Agreement, who are signatory members. We targeted that site because of the overuse of agency workers, and also to educate the workforce that there's ongoing negotiations within the SGIB to raise the wage in line with the current cost of living crisis. So we need the guys to join the union.
The lads said a wage freeze in 2021, 2%, 22, 2.5%, 23. So it's time they had a decent wage increase.
FES are the main electrical contractor on site. We're now looking for a substantial increase going into the negotiations come in February, March.
We're asking for 14%. In May this year, at the conference for Unite Scotland, we passed two motions. The first motion was to organise energy for waste industry. The second motion was to organise a campaign for SGIB wage increase. As yet, Unite Union Scotland have failed to organise any demonstrations. So the rank and file are kicking this off today. Many people in Unite are saying since Sharon Graham was elected, there's been a breath of fresh air. What we're actually saying is we want that fresh air to come up to Scotland for construction workers.
With our brothers and our sisters, together we will stand. Yeah, there's power in a union.
Could
news. It's still in the making. We're still waiting on an official letter coming through to myself, but the company Kirby Engineering Group that I used to work for, who I was recently sacked from, have decided to reinstate me fully. No loss of earnings.
But I mean, it doesn't end there. You know, there's further things that we have to achieve, including a national agreement within the HV sector in Scotland.
This is the new booming industry that's going to come in, the new green technology. Now we play a major part in the construction side of that. We actually build the substations, the electricity substations and infrastructure. We've heard about all the issues with the environment around the world. We need to move into a more greener world. That's perfect. This is music to everybody's ears. However, there has to be a commitment to good, secure, skilled jobs, and hopefully we can get a sit down with the Scottish Government and hopefully some other players in this industry, i.e. the clients, SSE, Scottish Power and others. It all ties in with the Scottish Government's Fair Work Convention. The Scottish Government, to give them credit, have put this down onto a paper, and it's saying to all the companies, we want you to be good employers and we want you to work with the trade unions, but our concern is it's got no teeth.
The Just Transition Commission within the Scottish Government had their interim report back in June of this year, and there was nothing in that report which could give any worker any confidence that they will get better pay and they will have better conditions and they will have security of employment. So we need to get more from the Scottish Government.
The high voltage sector generally where I work, the energy from waste, which is power production, and all the other green energy sectors, turbines, wind technology in the turbines, wave technology, all the different technologies, let's link it all together, let's join the dots. I'm making a call to all the electrical and mechanical workers that work in Scotland to come along to the biggest branch in Scotland. So if you're a Unite the Union member, check your card. It should have SC 155404. If it is not on that, you're not in this branch, and you need to phone the office and request to be moved over to this branch. On January the 28th, Saturday, we're holding elections for the Scottish Combine. No matter what sector of construction you work in, whether it's petrochemical, high voltage, SGIB, NECI, etc., come along to this branch. We've all got a common agenda here. We want to get the pay rates up, we want to get the skills up, we want to get more apprentices into this sector. So we'll be looking to create a brand new Scottish Combine, and we'll be looking for people to come along, share their ideas, share their experiences and get involved. Let's win.